Thank you. So I'm Sonia Dubey Dewan, and I'm an image consultant. And of course, we are sharing the theme of passion to purpose. So I'm going to talk about something else today. I got something in my hand. You know what is this? A pencil. This is my favorite pencil. You can see it on the screen also. And I've used many pencils over the year, but this one consistently remains my favorite. Every time I have to write or have to use a pencil for whatever purpose, I pick this one. Today, even when I was jotting down my thoughts for this TED Talk, I use this pencil to write down my thoughts. Now, why I like this pencil? Because it gives me a very good handwriting, because it's really dark and bold, so it gives a bold handwriting. And also these red and black lines is something that I have seen over the years consistently. So it gives me a sense of reliability, comfort, something that I know is reliable. It is going to be consistent throughout my life. So what truly makes this a good one is actually its two parts, the lead and the wood. The lead, which is really dark, and if you don't have the lead, if you just have the wood, the pencil is hollow and is of no use, right? But if I just give you the lead, then you'll start writing, you'll put enough pressure, and it will break. So basically, both the pieces really beautifully complementing each other, one incomplete without the other. If you also think about the lead, if you're just given the lead from the writing purpose, eventually, yes, you will need something to make it more darker, because if it is not dark, you'll not have an impactful writing. And if the wood is not polished enough, you will have splinters and it will hurt your fingers. I feel this pencil is just like us humans, a beautiful combination of the lead and the wood. Who we are on the inside and who we are on the outside. One incomplete without the other. The lead is your inner image and the wood represents your outer image. This combination makes us humans really interesting, gives us our story, and really makes us the person we become eventually. Now, when I talk about humans, you learned about my professional accomplishment, but I want to share my human story today. So let me tell you the human behind my professional accomplishments. So, if I have to tell you a little bit about me, I actually come from a very humble background. This is me as a baby with my mother, and a humble family. When I say family, it only had two people, me and the most important person of my life, my mother. No other family, no other background, just the two of us. I was raised by a single mother while she was also raising herself, educating herself, and working to raise a daughter. My world revolved around her. But one fine day, due to some circumstances, my mom had to put me in a boarding school at the age of 6. This is me in Dehradun, in front of my first boarding school, Doon International. Happy faces clicked just few minutes before I realized suddenly that, hey, my world is about to change. As I know it, the single most important person of my life, I'll be separated from that person. And I don't know, what will I do? How will that life turn out to be? This is where I actually started understanding life. That moment of realization, that what will happen? Before that, I don't remember anything, but this was a pivotal moment. And this is where the chapter 1 of my life began. Boarding school Turned out not so bad, actually. It was not the end of the world. Well, I'm standing in front of you, right? It actually was something really pivotal. I learned very important lessons of my life in that boarding school. I learned how to look neat and clean at the age of 6 to take care of myself. Learned how to write effectively, communicate effectively. I used to write letters because there was no other form of communication. I also learned my manners, my please, my thank yous, learned how to be nice to other people. And this was in Dehradun. So one of the other very interesting thing that happened, Dehradun at that time was really, you could see people in uniform because IMA, Indian Military Academy, is right there. So you would see everyone around you in the uniform. That's where I found my passion. I got fascinated with the idea of uniform. I realized that this is my dream and I want to serve the country. I want to grow up and I want to join defense and I want to serve the country. I want to wear the uniform. Next 8 to 9 years, I lived, dreamt, did everything possible that would help me to prepare myself for defense. In next 8 to 9 years, life took its turn, its due course, obviously. 6, 7 schools later, a couple of cities later, I landed and found a home, reunited with my mom after so many years after boarding school, and found a home right here in the city of Bhopal. This is where my home was, and this is where my life also took a different turn. Personally, I was very happy, but academically, life took a U-turn for me. Because remember, I was preparing for my passion of defense. And somebody had told me at that time that you need maths, although I was a very good student, bright in academics, but my maths was little weak. And I didn't score that well in 10th grade, and my school, being very strict, denied me of giving maths for good reasons. And what happened? My dream of serving in defense went down the drain. Suddenly, that passion, I had to leave it behind, hit restart, and I took PCB, biology, because thinking of anything other than science at that point of time was a big no-no. Now, of course, chapter 2 began of my life, and this is where I thought, I want to do something unconventional. I couldn't see myself as a doctor. So I found the field of biotechnology very fascinating. I thought, this is it. I have found my passion. I will do this. I scored really well. I did very well. I scored. I was a topper in the university here in biotechnology. I immersed myself in books, thesis. There used to be a British library at TT Nagar. I used to spend hours and hours in that library studying about biotechnology every single day, working on thesis, projects, submitting it, and my professor used to come back and tell me, where are you getting this information from, and can we have your notes? My favorite films became Forensic Files and also everything about biotechnology. But one fine day, somebody told my mom, I was growing up in college, somebody told my mom that this field, there is no future, there is no money. Instead, she should pursue MBA, guaranteed job, guaranteed placement, and of course, in future, she will get a very good marriage proposal also, and prospects will be better. And that's where my mom, being most of the typical middle class, family, a parent, she having my well-being in mind and coming from a background, of course, financial independence was important. She said to me, "Beta, अपने पैरों पे खड़े हो जाओ, फिर जो करना है करो. Become financially independent and do whatever you want, pursue your dreams." Of course, financial independence was very important. I didn't wanted my mom to continue her struggle for so many years. So I took up MBA. And my passion of biotechnology went down, poof, in thin air. Came to MBA, of course. MBA was a playing field for me. I knew placement will happen, some job in some company, you will be placed, you will be settled. I started exploring the subjects and I realized that finance is a no-go because maths, Now I have a phobia for maths. So suddenly finance is a no-go, not going there. But marketing, now I started dreaming. I thought, yes, I think I found my passion. I started imagining myself in corporate buildings, swanky offices, traveling all around, building strategies for marketing, branding for companies. I was all set in my mind. But for my good luck and bad luck throughout my life, 2008 recession happened. There was no jobs in the market. And we were told very strictly that if at all a company comes in and you get selected, irrespective of the fact, whichever company it is, you have to take up the job. Otherwise, we are not responsible. It was a very bad situation. People were jobless for 2 years or more. So in that year, luckily, I got a job. I got an offer for one or the two of the companies that came to the company. And that moment was one of the most pivotal moments which defined why I'm standing here today. Because in that room, I still vividly remember, in that room, 8 of us were in the final. There were only 2 people to be selected. And once the results were announced that I have been selected with no background, biotechnology as the background, I was being selected. There was high emotions in that room. People were crying or angry. Those who were not selected were angry and upset at me because they felt that they deserve it better. They had the background, they had the skills, they had the experience. I was crying, sitting there confused that why do I have this job, on what basis? And do I really deserve it because everyone else is now really angry at me? So did I do something wrong? And I'm crying there also. But yes, remember, beta apne पैरों पे पहले खड़े हो जाओ, right? Had to take up that job because there was no job, and I took up the job and came to the city of dreams now, Mumbai. I worked wholeheartedly, built my life in Mumbai really well, did everything, but somewhere inside I felt no market research, maths, Excel sheets, number, this is something that I was scared. I didn't wanted to do this. And I'm now landed exactly in that thing. This is not me. I can't do this anymore. So I started a wild chase. This time, on my own choices, I started chapter 4. I started a quest to find out what I'm really meant to do. And this is where, within 6 months, I did all experimentations that possible. First, I applied in the IT, world's largest, biggest IT research company, for the role of research because I was in market research. I got the job there, but they didn't select me for research. They offered me a very, very lucrative sales job. Surprisingly, I applied in a PR company. I got that job. I applied in any more other places also. I didn't get selected because of not suiting the eligibility. I also got one of the very interesting offer from the largest FMCG brand in the country for branding. Remember, I wanted to be in branding and marketing. And also in an architecture company, all different diverse offers sitting in front of me, and I'm now even more confused. What's going on? What do I want to do? Which direction should I take? Am I making a mistake right now? Who will help me? Who will guide me? And this is where a very senior vice president of a company, who was also my mentor, he said, very important lesson of my life. He said, Sonia, companies don't select candidates just on the basis of their experience or their education or their degree. There's a reason that interviews are set up, because people want to see the person behind that paper, that CV. They want to know who you are as a person, your personality, your skills, your talent, because he further said that you can be taught technical skills on the job within 6 months, but nobody can make you a better co-worker, a good professional, somebody who can do and be a nice person to work with, a professional. And perhaps in the interview, you highlighted these qualities. You went beyond your experience and credential, and that's why you are offered these jobs. That was another interesting insight for me. I took up a job in that architecture company, world's third largest architecture company, international. Everyone was outside, not from India, so I had a very different culture to work with. And guess what I took up, what role, what department I took up the job in? I was handling their finance department. Remember maths? I was weak in, right? I didn't want to do anything with the numbers. And this is where I'm sitting, keeping his thought in mind that I can learn technical skills, and I did. In 6 months, I went back to my books, everything, went back to all the people I know in finance, learned everything in 6 months, and became best at my job. Someone who is actually indispensable, that, right, you cannot leave, you cannot go from this organization. So now I'm sitting here with all the boxes ticked. 6-figure salary per month within just few years of MBA, living a very lavish lifestyle, comfortable, traveling all around that I wanted to do, swanky offices I wanted to do, but still sitting there with the existential crisis right there. Who am I? What happened to that girl who wanted to serve the country, that little one who wanted to serve the country? What happened to that girl who wanted to pursue biotechnology? What happened to that girl who wanted to work in branding? She worked in market research. She wanted to work in market research company, branding, marketing. What happened to her? Who am I? Am I that girl? Am I the one who wants to work in defense? I started asking myself some tough questions, very similar to something which actually Captain America asked Iron Man. Remove the suit and who are you? Well, for Iron Man, he was Tony Stark before he became Iron Man, right? But for me, I was still Sonia. I was not Iron Man or Iron Woman. I was just Sonia. And a Sonia who's confused, doesn't know what to do. So every single day, I spent hours and hours figuring out what I want to do and where I want to go in my life. And this is where, one fine day during my discovery sessions in the evenings, I used to spend hours, I stumbled upon the concept of image management, a process which aligns your inner belief, inner image with your outer presentation, authentically conveying who you are as a person, your values, your beliefs, your goals, creating a positive impression in the world. And I also came to know that there are people who do it professionally. They are called image consultants. I said, wow, interesting, different, unconventional. Let me read what it takes to become an image consultant. And to my surprise, all the skill sets, qualities that it takes to become an image consultant, I ticked all the boxes. It suddenly felt that I was meant to do this. I was meant to do this all my life. All my experiences wanted me to just learn this and be ready for this particular moment. I thought suddenly, once again, for the 4th time, I found my passion, passion number 4. But this time, there was something very different. And this is the key. What was different this time? All my life experiences flashed before me, and the most important experience was that placement day, that classroom, which made me realize that my story was just not my story, but a story of many Sonias and her classmates around the world or in this country. There are many people, India is filled with great talent, great skills. I see even people in corporate world in very good position, having amazing talent and skill set, but when it comes to presenting that skill and talent, when it comes to authentically conveying who they are, they don't have the direction, or they don't know maybe, or they have a hesitation, or they don't know how to do it the best. And I felt if I have this skill set, perhaps I can share it with the world. I can help bridge that gap in the youth of the country. I can help to share all my knowledge and make people their best version. And lastly, I felt that I can make a world a better place, one person at a time. And finally, I found a purpose. I found my purpose. Because till now, I was only finding passion, but there was no purpose. This time, it was different. I found my purpose. And this time, once again, for the final time, I hit reset. And I started chapter 5 of my life, image management. But this time, what was different? I was fueled with the passion, and also had the purpose to make a difference in the world, to help every individual in this country and beyond build a better image and present their best self to the world. But do remember that when you find your passion and purpose, it is not bed of roses. Absolutely not. In fact, it was the toughest thing I ever did in my life, and I'm still doing for the decade and a half. To leave a comfortable salary, to leave that swanky lifestyle, big offices, traveling around, to leave all of that behind, to bootstrap your company with no funding, no angel investors, starting something of their own in an unknown territory which no one has ever heard before at that time. It was scary. It was tough. But one thing that I want to share with all of you, that when you find your passion and your purpose, toughest things also become easy. You will find that good feeling in it. Maza wahin pe aata hai. Every day in the morning, you will get that kick that you want to get out of your bed and make a difference. So even the toughest things becomes easier. Now, why am I sharing this particular story with you, my human story? Because I want you to know that the person behind that entire story, the professionalism, there's a human story behind it. There was ups and downs. Because I want you to know that your life will not turn out the way you want. The life will never be linear, and sometimes it will be directionless completely. You will be clueless where you are heading and what's happening to your passion. Completely clueless. But in all of this, one thing that is going to remain constant is you. You, and when I say a holistic you, just like this pencil. Just like this pencil, the lead, which is your inner image, which represents who you are, your values, your belief, your personality, your experiences, your education, all of that combined together, your inner image. Build upon this. Educate yourself. Build your personality, develop your personality, find your weaknesses, and ensure you work upon them. Find your strength and make sure you shine. Ensure that you educate yourself just not in the campus or in the classroom, but go beyond. Educate yourself beyond classroom, through work, through projects, meeting new people, learning through cultures, travel, and everything else. Build on your outer image, the wood. And how do you build your outer image? Your external presence, which I call the ABC of image. Build your appearance. Because there is a reason we all look different. Every one of you. There's a reason we sound different. There is a reason we behave different. All of this combination gives us a unique identity. So work on your appearance, look good, be neat, be presentable. Learn to communicate effectively that people can understand and you can share your talent at the right place at the right time. Behave in such a way that every person you meet feels really happy that they have met you. And when you have this unique combination, beautiful combination of your inner image and your outer image combined together, that gives you a holistic option to become limitless. You become limitless in that case. When I say limitless, you're not bound with options. Even if the life will throw a curveball at you and your passion will go out of the window, you will know that you can adapt and pivot. You will know that every experiences that you learned will teach you something, and you can use those experiences to build yourself up until you land and find that purpose. In my case, life took a full turn. My chapter 1 taught me how to look good, how to look neat, how to present and be nice. The chapter 2 of my life taught me how to learn, adapt and pivot, go to something else if something is not working out. Chapter 3 of my life taught me everything that requires to set up a good business, finance, research, marketing, branding, everything, and to learn and navigate through corporate world. And chapter 4 taught me that if you really want and set your mind to, you can really achieve your dreams. Today, I work with individuals around the world. I inspire many students so that every student now can actually achieve what they really want and what they really deserve. And we do not repeat that same incident that happened with me during placement. I also work with many other individuals. I get to train people in defense. I also work with organizations and corporates, training in swanky offices, right? That's what I wanted to do, and travel around the world. I also work with people in defense, people in uniform, and help them train to build their image. Everything that I wanted to do, I'm doing that right now, but in a different situation, in a different way, in truly what I am best at, and the purpose that I can really fulfill. So do remember to build yourself up. When you build yourself, when you build you, you become a holistic entity, a limitless entity. And nothing is impossible in that case. So start working on you, because you are your most valuable asset. Start investing in it today. Thank you.